PR Connections Radio presents. This episode of the PR Connections podcast is brought to you by Classy Communications PR and Advertising. Classy Communications provides public relations and marketing solutions for businesses, professionals, and non-profit organizations. It can deliver the true meaning of your business with press releases, social media marketing, web development, email marketing, book publishing, and much more. Wherever your potential clients are, they can help you connect with them. Visit classycommunications.net to learn more about their suite of services that can help your business stand out from the rest. Classy Communications is your solution for business success.
Hello there, and welcome to the Sunday Morning Chat Series with Jesse Oakley III, and this is your host, Jesse Oakley III. Now, the purpose of the Sunday Morning Chat Series is for me to interview a plethora of positive people that are making a big difference in the community, whether they're speakers, writers, entertainers, entrepreneurs, podcast hosts, athletes, you name it, you'll hear from them first right here on the Sunday Morning Chat Series. And I am grateful to be a part of a wonderful company called PR Connections, and you get a chance to hear amazing people with amazing podcasts. In today's episode, you get to hear from a person who is hosting the Business of Giving podcast from PR Connections. And please let me welcome none other than AnnaKarenina Kealoha. Hey, AnnaKarenina, how's it going?
Aloha! It's great to see you, Jesse.
All right, it's great to be here. And with that being said, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Just make sure, because I haven't got my earphones, you just make sure you're a little loud for me. Thank you.
I got you covered. And without delay,
I've got the wrong end.
I hear you. Without any further delay, let's chat. And you're the host of Business of Giving podcast. Could you tell all the happy people what your podcast is all about?
Yeah, it's about connecting with people that are doing ordinary people that are doing extraordinary things in the community that a lot of people don't even hear about. You know, we hear about the big operations. They're always in the forefront, but we don't hear about the little people like us who go out there day by day and make a difference, and make such a difference that it's not just their family and friends, it's the community. I love it.
Oh my goodness, that sounds fantastic. Now, I do have a question for you is, how did you get your start in podcasting this wonderful show?
Oh, I don't know. I've been part of Toastmasters since I arrived in Las Vegas 11 years ago. And I thought the reason I joined Toastmasters was because I thought, being an Aussie, and I didn't know anybody here, I thought it was about toasting. Glug, glug, glug. So I thought, I went on a meetup and I went, there's the spot for me. Well, I met wonderful, wonderful people like yourself, and just gobs of people all over the world. And I met this gentleman called Guy Dawson, who has these companies and events going on. And he is such a giving person. And it's hard for me to say no to somebody who's on my track, who's trying to, while you're on this planet, try and make a difference in a good way so that we get bigger, better, brighter, lighter, more evolved. And that's what Guy Dawson is. And he has PR Connections. And he said, would you like, what have you thought about? And I went, okay. It was that easy.
Oh my goodness. To say yes and figure it out. That's amazing.
And I had never done I've done a lot of talking on air and that kind of thing, but talk about in the confines, the quote marks of podcasts, I'd never done that before. But you know what? We can all do it. You just have to talk from your heart.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Now, we all go through our adventures in podcasting and business, and we have our difficult moments that we're able to overcome. Now, when it comes to organizing a podcast like this, what were some of the challenges that you faced that you were able to overcome?
Okay. I don't have any problem talking. I could be in one of those Congress sessions when they filibuster for days. I have no problem. But the thing was that you get somebody on a podcast and you kind of give them a little warm up and they give little answers and you've got like half an hour and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, I've got 15 minutes and I'm finished. And so that's where you have to dig into this old brain and start doing things on the fly. And that can be, I'm getting used to that. Yeah, because for me, I would just take it over and just talk. But, you know, you want to get the information out that the person is there for. So that's a learning curve for me.
Oh my, that is quite the learning curve. And I want to also ask you that we talked about challenges. Now, there are some best moments that we do have when it comes to our own podcast. Now, what were some of the best moments you experienced so far?
You know, I've met people that just talking about it brings tears to my eyes. They are so incredibly wonderful and so unknown in the world. And I just can't get over the graciousness and givingness of people that will go out of their way, past their job, past their family, past their need to pay the rent and mortgage and what have you, and will keep pushing for what they believe in. And, you know, believe me, I don't believe in everything that people believe in, but I have such a great respect for their push for what they want to give to the world and how they want to change the world. We should all be doing this and not leave it to the politicians.
Oh, you definitely said a lot right there, AnnaKarenina. Now, I have another question for you. Now, let's say that you're a host of Business of Giving, and let's say that you have someone that wants to start their own podcast, and they look at you and they say, AnnaKarenina or AK, you inspire me. You really amaze me, and I'm impressed with your work on this Business of Giving podcast and what you do. I'm impressed with the guests. I'm impressed with your show. I'm impressed with whatever you do, and I want to be just like you. Now, if you were to meet someone that wants to be just like you and wants to be in your shoes, what advice would you give that person?
You know, I'm like everybody, and everybody is like me. We've all had our ups and downs. We've all had mountains to climb. And some of us have taken that mountain and made it into a choice of, instead of it being a downer and being a victim, you become a leader. That's where I went. When I was if I can spend a couple of seconds, when I was 2 years old, I mean, I was a perfectly healthy, and I might add, gorgeous baby. And I developed asthma. And my mum and dad have gone now, so I can't research and find out the reason why. Because you don't just get it out of the air. So to the point where I was on deathbed all the time. I never went to school. Don't I speak well? Until I was older. I learned by books. Mummy left me alone. She had to work, and I read books all day. And something out of that, trying to breathe, you know, breathing is kind of like really important.
Yeah.
It's more important than walking or anything else, or even thinking. And I went through that. I remember coming home from Queensland to Sydney, and one of the rivers was overflowing, and we couldn't get over. And my asthma got so bad, and I couldn't breathe. And I got home to Mummy and Daddy's house in Sydney, and Daddy was pushing on my lungs and pushing on my lungs. I said, Daddy, just let me go. I can't handle it any longer. It's too much to try and take another breath. And I remember that. And I'm nearly 76. And I'll never forget that. And he kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And that is what makes people decide whether they're going to be a victim or they're going to be a leader. You know, what do you take? I've learned so much from that. I've read so much. If I hadn't read and seen the first, what do you call it? TV in Australia, when there was nothing. Yeah, my poppy was one of the people that worked in a place that brought TV to Australia. And I saw a man from America go over to Tibet, one of the first white people to go, or should I say Caucasian? I'm not sure what's right now. And to go over there and interview people and see what the religion was like. And that changed my life, because all of a sudden your Buddhism became a huge part. It was Lowell Thomas, High Adventures with Lowell Thomas. And that changed my life. And that was because Poppy ended up working for a place where they brought TVs to Australia that nobody could afford except, the people that had lots of money. So you can make everything either like a bad thing or a good thing or a great thing. And I choose to make it a great thing. I'm here for a reason. I wanted to be a nun when I was little, but I learned. I got out of that one. That would not have been good for the nunnery.
I hear you. And those are some great words of wisdom and always great words of encouragement. And I really appreciate that. That you really spoke a lot. And who knew that 2-year-old kid will become a wonderful person that's right here standing in front of us today? Who knew?
Oh, I have every day I get up and I go, please make it that I don't make so many mistakes today. But I keep falling in that puddle of mud every day. But every day I crawl out and hopefully make a new beginning and learn another lesson. I don't have wings, but sometimes, Jesse, I actually feel some gift. Sometimes, not very often, but sometimes I go, especially when I'm out in Mother Nature, especially here, when you go out into the mountains here, and I go, I get it. We can all be kind. We can all love. We don't have to fight and kill and take from each other. We can be earthlings together. And I believe, I know this is kind of wacky, but I believe until we get in communication and love and light with Mother Nature and the animal kingdom, we're not even there, because we're earthlings. And it's all about that complete energy on this planet.
Ain't that the truth, AnnaKarenina? Now, another question I do have for you is, we talk about your podcast, The Business of Giving. Where could people know more about your podcast? Where could they actually go to check out a couple of your episodes?
I didn't hear the last bit. What?
Where could they go to actually check out Business of Giving? Where could they check out your show?
PR Connections has a site there, and I'm on that site. I know they were having a little difficulty at one point. I've just got back from Texas seeing my babies, but that's where you find me. That's where you find the podcast. That's where you find out about me, and you'll see what people are doing. I mean, I just had a wonderful guest, Sean Maddox, who just put on an event the other day. He's a regular guy, living his life, trying to make a living and a good life, and he put on this amazing event. So you'll see all these people that are going out of their way, women that are working towards fostering children, people that are working towards using health for their happiness and their wellness. I mean, there's just a variety of people that are out there. Everybody that's out there. I'm my specialty that I live by is wellness and using your body as a pharmacy, not drugs. I teach people not to be on prescription drugs or the other happy drugs, whatever. I teach people to use Mother Nature to have all these things. And I've been so sick my whole, the beginning I was in bed all the time. I hardly went to school. And I was like the latchkey child of the nuns. I mean, they didn't even have like homeschooling. And Mummy would bring home the books and I'd sit there. And so I am definitely an overachiever. And it's just possible to live a life. Here am I with screwed up lungs. I got right through COVID, no mask. I only used a mask for the airports and Trader Joe's. I exercised all the time, and I had an enjoyable life. COVID never touched me. I did lose a lot of friends, but COVID never touched me. And here I am now, nearly 76, still wheezy, but really enjoying life. I'm really happy. I'm really healthy.
That is truly fantastic. Now, this section of the episode that I have to share with you is called the shout out portion, where you have a chance to give thanks for people for making your journey possible. If you would like to give a shout out to people that have made your journey possible, who would you like to give a shout out to?
That my journey was possible?
Yes, who would you like to say give thanks to?
In my whole life?
Oh, hey, anybody you like to give thanks to? Anyone.
My mother and father. Oh my God, I wouldn't be alive without them. They were incredible. And my grandmother and grandfather. You know what my grandfather did? When I was a little girl, I lived with them a lot of times. He got one of the linen shelves of my grandmother and took it out so the next shelf could be my bed at the end of the hallway. And so he made it into a bed for me. So I lived in a cupboard on a shelf. So I could get round the corner to the hospital to get, help for my lungs. And what he did, because he was in all this technical stuff, he brought home a setup where Nana had an oven thing set up in an alcove, and it was all iron, and he wound these wires around, and then I could hear England, the BBC and things like, I mean, I could hear all around the world. He set me up, and this was when I was a child. I mean, I was so lucky. I might have not been able to breathe, but I learned so much, and he had heaps of books like I could read out of and learn from that I couldn't go to school. So, yeah, this thing about being regular and, doing the regular trappings of going to school and doing it's not necessary. You can do it in a lot of ways. And I know not a lot of people probably don't think I'm very, very brainy, but I've gotten through.
Truly.
So, yeah, it's mom and dad. And Nana and Poppy, and then I think of people like I told you about that journey to Tibet, and there's other people that have stirred me with music, stirred me with thoughts, and I've read so many books, I've delved into so many people that have given me so much information. I mean, the list is long, and I'm just very grateful, A, that I could read, B, that I could understand what they were saying to a degree, and C, that they were there for me.
Again, AnnaKarenina, amazing people, amazing. It's just amazing, and it goes to show you that you're not in this alone. You have some good support staff, a good support cast with you, and great people that you just mentioned. A fantastic AnnaKarenina. Now, I have one more question for you, and this is just to my fans and people that watch this podcast. They're called the happy people, and at the end of each episode, they're always amazed and inspired by the final words of wisdom from my guests. Now, if you could offer one more solid words of wisdom to my people, my crew, the happy people, what would it be?
You're asking for one. You're asking the wrong person. Yeah. I went through a period where I was ready to off myself. I mean, I was so tragic. That around me was so tragic. I didn't see a way out. It was just, that's all I can call it, tragic. And one person reached out to me and said, come on, let's go for a holiday here. And I went out and I joined the dolphins and the water, and somehow that energy brought me back to life. And I decided there and then that I would never allow hate or tragedy or disappointment or failings of anybody or me or anybody to get in my life. And I made a commitment there and then that I would be happy for the rest of my life. And when people come into my life and they're wah, I just say aloha to them. I'm at a point, I consider myself like an elder, not a senior, an elder. And I can make choices and I choose to be happy. I've got a beautiful daughter. I had a magnificent mom, and she made me, and I made my precious daughter, and my precious daughter made my precious granddaughter. And we are like a line, and it's just so strong and so happy and so full of love. It can never be broken. And that's what it's all about. Love and light and happiness, laughter. And when you look at somebody and they're boo-hoo all the time, I just go, all right, here's a little prayer for you, a little meditation. Aloha. And it's not my time to look after them. I just believe you can live in love. And when you see something, even the tiniest thing on the ground that needs help, a little ant that needs to be scooped up by a leaf and put into the garden, anything you can do. It doesn't have to be grandiose. It just has to be good. And to look at something not evil, to look at something as precious. You know, that's all I that's my life. Can you still see me?
Yeah, I can see you. And AnnaKarenina, that was truly an amazing wise words of wisdom for my happy people. And this is the perfect bookend to a wonderful episode of Sunday Morning Chat Series. And on behalf of all the happy people watching, thanks for being part of this episode of the Sunday Morning Chat Series, AnnaKarenina.
I missed that last bit.
Thank you very much for being part of the episode today.
Oh, thank you, darling. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm in honor.
All right. And this concludes this episode of the Sunday Morning Chat Series. To check out more episodes of the Sunday Morning Chat Series and Business of Giving, go to prconnectionsradio.com. But wait, there's more. You can also check out my podcast and AnnaKarenina's podcast, Business of Giving, and more podcasts on YouTube. Just type in PR Connections. But wait, there's also more. You can also go to some past episodes I did on the Sunday Morning Chat Series. Go to YouTube, type up Sunday Morning Chat Series, click subscribe, hit the like button, comment, and you get to hear all the episodes I've done from 2020, 2021, 2024, and right here in 2025. And stay tuned for our next episode of the Sunday Morning Chat Series, which will take place every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. On behalf of AnnaKarenina and myself, we wish you a fantastic, have a good day, and aloha.
Aloha.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.